Hey YouTube. Wanted to hop on here and kind of just talk to you guys about some things that I feel needs to be talked about. This video is basically more of encouraging or of encouragement, if I could talk. So, for those of you who don't know, my dad passed away 2 years ago, November 29th. And so November's really not my month. If I could bypass it, I would, to be honest, because I really don't enjoy it. But yesterday was just not a very good day for me. I had a very bad attitude, and I had asked God to fix that because I hate when I feel the way that I did yesterday. It's like no matter what I said or did, like I just wasn't having it kind of thing. I'm sure some of you guys know what I'm talking about, but sorry that I continue to get on here with no makeup on. My hair's not done. And I mean, I have in some videos, and I'm like so physically exhausted. That's because I literally don't sleep. Like, I really don't. I feel like I don't get any sleep. But how I know that I'm doing things the correct way. And maybe some of you guys have experienced what I am going through. So yesterday, like I said, was not a very good day. And it was like I was behind on people. I'm a nail technician. I was behind on people, which obviously if you're behind on one, you're behind on all most of the time. And I just didn't have a very good attitude. So after I got off work, like I kind of cried a little bit. I am not a very emotional person. I actually don't like feelings. I really don't. Like, I kind of try to avoid them. I'm doing a little bit better, but all in all, I don't like to feel anything. So, and this month obviously is going to bring a lot of tension, a lot of anxiety, a lot of nervousness, a lot of anger and bitterness. So at any rate, I thought for sure that after tomorrow was done, like I'd wake up today and be perfect. And I was. I actually woke up. I was in a great mood. Like, I dropped my kids off. I told them have a blessed day. Like, smile at everyone. Like, just the whole spiel. And called my ex-husband, and I don't know what it is about him and I, but for some reason, if I literally go back to the old Kim, where I wasn't the best of person. We all have a past. I was just kind of one of those that was kind of like more of an instigator. I was over dramatic, manipulative, selfish. And it's like I just go kind of back into that. Now, again, I've gotten better, but like I'm not that person though. But for some reason, when I talk to him, I go back to being that person. So, some things were said, and I allowed my emotions to take control. And it turned bad. It turned very sour. And then I got off the phone feeling miserable, and I just cried. And so he called me back, and I just apologized for some of the things that I said and whatnot. But he's the type of person that he does not. I'll be honest with you. He says he believes in God, but I don't think he does. I really don't. And the reason being because he thinks that when you die, you just die. You don't go anywhere. If you can't see it, then it's not real. So, talking to him about faith, it's a very touchy subject for him. So I'll be completely honest. I do try to avoid it because I don't feel like I am strong enough to do anything in his life. I really honestly don't. So I try to avoid talking about that. But when you say the GD word, like it really gets to me. And it gets to me if it's like around my kids. And so, long story short there, some things were said. It brought out a lot of tension, a lot of negativity, and that energy was just around me. So all day I get to work, I do my people, I sweep, I leave, get halfway to Oaktaha, and I know when I have a flat tire. I live down a dirt road. It's been really rainy lately. When it's rainy, that I think they call it like clay or whatever they put down. It's like it kind of washes away, and like you see dips in the road, and it's to a point to where it's like I've been through so many tires, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. Well, ever since I got this car, I don't have good credit, so I had to purchase a new vehicle. Because the other one she was done for. She was completely done for. I'd had her almost 5 years. Don't want to talk about it though, because it makes me sad. But anyway, so I get this other car, and it's the only one that I can get, and I had to have a car. And it has low profile tires. Yeah. So dirt roads are not good for those. They don't last very long. So at any rate, I knew halfway getting to the school, I knew right then and there I had a flat tire. So I go to the convenience store, try to air it up, seal it the best I could, at least to get the kids and go home. But I decided to get like real brave, right? So I call my mom, and I'm like, I look at the clock and it's 11:11. Anyway, been seeing that a lot lately, which is highly unusual. But I digress. So I get them, and I'm in a panic, but I'm like, I'm gonna try to make it. I'm gonna try. The nearest tire place is like 15 minutes away, so I was like, I'm gonna do it. All right. Every morning I usually just pray over my tires. For some reason I didn't do that today. If I recall correctly, like I don't think I did, and normally I do. Might sound silly to some, but like I do it. I'm like, Father God, please protect my tires. Like I can't afford new tires. So I get to where I need to go, to the Walmart. I called beforehand. Listen, I didn't just like on a whim decide to go up there. Okay. There is a major point to this. Okay. Y'all just bear with me. So I get to the Walmart, and, he's like, we don't have these tires. I was like, well, I called. He's like, well, what did you tell him? I was like, 215, 50, 17. He's like, that's not even these tires. And I was like, okay, so now not only do I have onsets of dementia, like, because I forget everything, but now I can't see. Okay, I got you. I had a moment where I broke. I broke a little bit. And I said some things that I shouldn't have said. And started crying. Right down a small hill, maybe like 1 minute away, is another place called Tire One. And I'm throwing the F-bomb around. Like I've had enough. I said I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. Get to Tire One. I park like super far in their parking lot, and I'm like, I walk all the way up there, and I said, man, I don't even know what kind of tires I have. Can you help me out? He's like, yeah. Gets out there, looks at them. He's like, not a lot of places carry these, and I probably don't either, and I'm very sorry. And I'm like I can feel my heart. I've had enough. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I'm done. He's like, let me just go check. And I'm like, all right. He's like, maybe we can put you in something, like put something on the tire that's not going to, or not on the tire, but like on your car. That way you can at least get home. I'm like, all right. Mind you, I already have the spare on the back left because that's how bad low profile tires are down a dirt road. Like, I'm not playing with you. I got the car September 20th and I've already, this is the second. Okay. So anyway, he goes in there, he looks on the little computer and he says, let me go touch it. And I was like, what? Touch what? So he gets up abruptly and just like walks off. And I have no idea what's happening. He comes back in there and he's like, well, I'll be. We have a set of 4. And that never happens. I was like, what? And he's like, yeah. I was like, well, how much is it for 2? He's like, man, I'm going to cut you a deal. I said, don't let me ugly cry in here. Don't you be making deals. You know, I was like, all I have on is mascara and like, it's not waterproof. So like, you don't want to see that. I was like, I'll literally start looking like a wet alpaca. Like, we don't need to, be going there. And he said, oh, I might do it just to see that. And I'm like, okay. So he cuts me a deal. I only get 1 because I did not have, now it was a good deal for 2, but I said, jokingly, I said, maybe next month like I'll come back and I'll just get another one. Maybe I'll get lucky. He said, you probably will because these don't sell. He's like, I don't even know how I have them. So I said, I looked at him and it was in that moment, I just looked at him and I said, you know what? God might let me bend, but he ain't going to let me break. And he said, sure enough. So these are good people. Like, I've never met them before in my whole life. And I instantly clicked with them. And I'm very socially awkward. So like, I make awkward conversations more awkward, So I'm like, all right, this is cool. So he's like, well, just go sit out there and just relax. We'll come to you. You're not going to be able to pull it into a bay. I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. It's like on the rim. He's like, yeah. He's like, to be honest, I don't even know how you made it here. I was like, I know now. But anyway, come to find out, the guy who comes out there to like change my tire, I was talking about how I have short-term memory loss. Like, I was joking about it, which I do have that, but like, I joke about it a lot. And he instantly goes, hey man, like 2 years ago, my dad died in like November and like from dementia. And then last year, my grandpa died from dementia. And this year, my grandma is sick with dementia. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'll pray for you, whatever. And he goes, and then I sat there. Well, he didn't say anything after that because I instantly started thinking about it. And I was like, wait a minute. November what? November what of 2017? He's like, November 17th. My dad died November 29th. I was like, my dad, he passed away too. He's like, and he said, well, how did he die or whatever? And I told him it was his heart, but he did have dementia. Well, we just joke, so that kind of goes by. I get home after getting the tire. And I just now got an appointment for propane to come out here on the 27th, the day before Thanksgiving. We have 3 oil heaters and a ceramic space heater that does not stay on. Like, we only keep it on when we're home and we keep eye on it. I'm not stupid. Like, I know better. The oil heaters heat up a little bit, but by God, if it gets below 35, like, we are just over and done with. And I have bubble wrap and plastic sheet on the rest of the house, like most of the house, right? I get home and the kitchen all the way to the back room, going like back that way, the lights wouldn't turn on. And I just sat there and I'm like, you gotta be kidding. Okay, so I go to the breaker box and it's been doing this where, like, if I have too many things like plugged in or whatever, like, the lights will just shut off. The breaker on that one will just be midway off. So you have to turn it all the way off and then turn it back on. So I do this 4 times. 4. And I said, you know what? I've had enough. So I took the oil heater in there and I brought it into the living room. I was like, forget it. Like, we'll just have 2 in the living room, right? It's one of these things. But anyway, so I just take packaging tape and like just shove it on there. I'm like, you're going to stay in place, right? But after that 4th time, it was like a light bulb just went off. So I come into my kitchen and my girls are sitting here. I said, you know what? No, I want y'all to listen to me. I was like, this is serious. I want you to literally listen to everything that I'm about to tell you. Like, I need you to understand the seriousness of what I'm about to tell you. And my oldest is just like, what? Like, I don't get it. She's almost 13. Okay. Everything sucks for her, you know? Anyway, so I'm like, every night we're going to have to hardcore pray. Y'all are going to have to, you're going to have to pray. I was like, listen, now's the time. Now is the time you're going to put your warrior boots on and we're going to pray for the full armor of God and we're going to place it on our house and demons are going to be gone. We're going to rebuke him. Like, I just went straight encouraging. And I was like, we are a team. We are a family. Like, we're going to fight this, but God can't fight our battle unless, you know, we pray about it. We got to pray about it. So the moral of the story. The moral of the story is this. We are all going through something. Okay. Some of you may be going through it a lot harder. And I understand. Okay. I do. My trials and tribulations, they literally feel like the worst things ever because some of the things that are the hardest for me is my financial status. I never know when I'm going to get child support. I don't make a whole lot of money. And the reason why I could, but the reason why I don't is because my entire life revolves around my children. Do my kids play in sports or anything? No, they do not. However, I literally want to spend every moment with my kids because I don't want there to come a time when the rapture does come. I want us to be together. And not only that, but I want my kids to look back and say, my mom did everything that she could to be around us and make memories with us and spend time with us. With all that being stated, okay, because I don't, Satan knows how to get to me. He knows it. He knows Tommy, my ex-husband. He is literally one of the people that him and I can either be super, super, super close or we can be super dislikeful. Like, we don't like each other at all, right? So God knows that. He knows that, right? Or Satan knows that. Sorry, I apologize. Satan knows that. And so he knows how to get to me. This is how I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. If he is going to come at me that hard, I'm going to stand firm and I'm going to go harder. I'm going to pray about it. And that's what you do. You get on your hands and knees. You guys, we're all going through it. But I'm telling you, stay on the course. Now is not the time to back down. God did not allow you to be here if he didn't think that you were strong enough to handle it. He handpicked you to be in this body, in your vessel, in your temporary home. He did that because he knew that you were strong enough to stay the course. You're going to feel like giving up. I get it. You're going to feel severely depressed sometimes. You really might. But I want you to keep in mind that if you have air in your lungs, then there is a purpose for you, that God has a purpose for you, and that the course, the light is right there at the end of the tunnel. It's right there. We are so, so close to going home, you guys. And what a great and glorious day that is going to be. I cannot wait. I remember being a kid, and when we had field trips, I counted the days, and it was like the first time I ever went to Six Flags, okay, in sixth grade. Maybe it was eighth grade. Heck, I don't know. Sixth, seventh, or eighth. Anyway, that was a long time ago. Anyway, I counted those days down, and then I got there, and I'm like, there's no way that this is happening to me. There's no way. Like, this is the most miraculous thing in the whole world. You know what I mean? So, that's how I feel about God. That's how I feel about the harpazo, the rapture of the church. When God comes to get his bride, when we are face to face with the person that gave his only son to come down here to live a life and to take every amount of our sin and wash it clean. I'm sorry, you guys, but man, I get really emotional about this because I cannot wait not just to see Jesus, the person who created me, who believed in me and knew that I could live this life. But not only that, but to see my dad and to see him. He's going to be the first person that greets me besides my papa and my granny. I have no doubt of that. I have no doubt. And so I want to encourage you guys today that this life is hard, but honeys, it's going to be a lot harder if you have to live it in hell. Don't allow Satan to get to you, because he's been, sometimes I don't know if it's Satan or if it's God that is sending me dreams, but Satan will attack you in any way. That's what he does. And my mom said, well, why wouldn't Satan want to do like good things for you? That way, like, you would be persuaded to like go towards him. Okay, maybe. But the way I look at it is God or Satan knows that if I'm angry because of my tire or my finances, or if I am kept busy with, my ex-husband and I arguing and fighting, and when I'm stressed, he knows that I am going to do less of the work of God. And so again, I encourage you guys to stay afoot, stand firm, get on your hands and knees. And this isn't like, I used to think that people just said stuff like that. No, I'm legitimately telling you, get on your hands and knees when it is the hardest. Kneel upon God and ask him to save you and help you, because if you don't ask, how can he do it? It's just like perfect analogy. Your kid goes in the kitchen, gets a glass of milk, spills it, but doesn't tell you, but they leave it there. And maybe the glass breaks, right? Okay, well, you can't fix what you don't know is broken. I say that all the time. And it's true, because you can't. If you don't know that glass is broken, how are you to clean it up or fix it or whatever? So stay afoot. The race was long. For some of you, it's been longer than what I've had to deal with. And you may have dealt with things worse, okay? But you are enough and you are worthy, and God loves you so fiercely. And he knows that you are going through hard time, but sometimes tears are prayers too. There's going to be times that you're not going to know what to say, but if you just say his name and just sit in his presence, I promise, I don't really lie that often, you guys, like when it comes to stuff like this. Like, I'm being serious. I know that I'm so exhausted and I'm super duper like dehydrated, and you can probably hear that, but I'm not crazy when I tell you guys that this isn't like 3 years ago when we said, it's so close, it's so close. Like, this is different. This is different. When I say we are so close, I'm talking, it would surprise me if God allowed us to stay here for January 1st. It would surprise me. I'm not setting a date because no one knows the day or the hour, but we do know the season, and we do know that we are the generation. And there's so many facts to that. I mean, so many. But stay afoot. Continue to watch whoever you need to watch to keep you encouraged. I'm going to try to get on here as much as possible just to kind of encourage you guys and let you know, like, how much you are cared for. And if he took one look at you and said, yep, she's that strong one that I was talking about, or he was that strong one. He's the one, or she is the one I'm going to put in this vessel. And they're going to go through so much trial and tribulation, but I know that they're going to be strong enough to handle it. I really, truly hope that this helps someone. I really do. And I mean every single word that I say. You are cared for. And you might be the one thing, the one person that lights up somebody else's darkness. You might be that one person that plants that mustard seed, and God allows it to grow. I pray that this helps someone. I'm so tired. I'm so sorry, but I meant every single word that I said. I pray many blessings over every one of you. I pray that when you sleep tonight, that the minute your head hits the pillow, you rest. You rest and feel assured that everything is going to be okay. I appreciate the ones that do watch this video. I thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me. And if any of you ever need prayer or someone to talk to, or maybe somebody in your life needs prayer or whatever, or you're just feeling so down that you just don't know if you can go any farther, please do not hesitate to contact me. I will put my email address, and I really, really hope that maybe, just maybe, one person hears this and maybe it saves them. Thank you guys again, and have a good evening. Bye.